You didn't believe anything that I said. When they came, you were not prepared. Then it all fell right on your head. And now you're lying in your bed. You've got yourself in a rabbit hole. You're trapped 'cause you did not let go. You took that bait and now you...
Hey guys, it's Carrie with Alice Eats the Apple.
And Carrie with Silver Linings.
So we look just like we do in another video because we decided to do them back to back.
Right, because it's been 10 seconds later.
Yes, no, and it doesn't matter. So I wanted to talk about something.
What?
This is sort of on the heels of the last video that we did critiquing the Adjustment Bureau with Emily Blunt and Matt Damon, and how things are manipulated a little bit. So I just got back from New York, and on the way there, I sat next to someone, Houston, Texas. I don't know how many millions of people, lots, going to New York. It's a hub, one of the big hubs, and I sit next to someone that lives down the street from me. Huh. So then, on the way back, we're in the lounge. A lot of people. I mean, there aren't a lot of people. Lots of seats, and there are 3 seats and 3 seats, and my son and my husband and I are in these 3 seats, and these are open. And this woman comes over, sits right down in front of me. When there are, I mean, it would be like you sit with your people there, you know. Mm-hmm. And I look up, and it's like Margaret.
So you knew who you were.
Yeah. And so this person I've known for 25 years.
Wow.
And she didn't see me. I mean, that's the thing. She came, she sat down, and she was like, "What? What are you doing here?" And so then I get on the plane, and the girl sitting next to me goes to the school right down the street, and the person sitting behind, and Margaret, they're on the same flight. The person sitting behind my son is someone that we know well, and the person sitting next to her, not her husband, someone else, is someone that Charles had.
So you had a whole cabin full of people you knew?
And all sitting right there with us. I mean, all sitting like right here with us. I know.
It's
and so
cocktail party. That's weird.
Well, I talked to Ashley formerly of the Eat City Ranch yesterday, Dave. And I said, "What do you get?" She said, so there are so many light workers that are out there that are. You know, we're talking about the heart light, you know, and
right?
the
Okay.
coding,
Yes.
and that people are drawn to the light workers because it reminds them. And she said, "I see seedlings just about to pop out, like just about to pop up, and it's like kind of like their guides kind of sit here, get activated, you know, and it's not anything that you do, it's not anything you say, it's just that it's that presence." And I said, "Well, okay, so what is it for me?" She said, that you're drawing people in, that you can draw people in, people that you know. And if you didn't know them, you wouldn't know that you've just drawn them in. So I just thought that was an interesting, so pay attention, because there's a lot of really cool stuff going on right now.
You know what? Can I like shift a little to what that kind of reminded me of? I don't even think it relates at all, but it's still kind of spiritual. But you know, I had a birthday recently. You're gonna have yours soon. I just had mine. We're both. Oh, you didn't? Okay. No.
I'll be 32 again.
Oh.
No, I don't care.
I'll
be 65.
I'm 34 again. I'm gonna stay there for a while. But I got for my birthday gift liver rescue book from
the Medical Cleanse.
That's the one.
Did Tiffany give it to you?
She sure did. She
loves the Medical Cleanse.
Well, she's kind of been planting some seeds because I know that I can't live on coffee and bacon forever. But she gave me this book, and
you want to live forever?
No, but you know, I can't. But you know,
you want to be healthy. Yeah.
Well, I don't really care, but you know, I think I need to be. But this is like a textbook. I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to read a textbook. But she was so cute. She put like sticky notes on the pages that would be most relevant to me. But
she gave you the cliff notes.
Yeah, she really did. But I'm even like skimming that stuff. But this is what is interesting to me is that
I'm gonna tell her. Oh no, I'm not.
Just the little tiny like drops that I've been given. I feel like it's downloading a true desire to change. So I know I will never study this book entirely. I'll just read bits and pieces, but those bits and pieces are enough to push me and guide me. So I feel like all these little things are pushing me over there. And then I got a chance to talk to Higher Self Charlie Smith the other day. And through Denise, I interviewed him on my show, Silver Linings.
Who's Charlie Smith?
I keep saying that. Charlie Goldsmith. Oh, God. Go Google him. He's really cute. But
is he the cute one?
He's the cute healer.
Really young.
No, not the Tyler one. Well, he might be young too, but he's really adorbs. He's the nephew of Olivia and John. He's a real cutie. Anyway, Denise told me that one of the reasons, and I know this is true, that, one of the reasons that he vibrates so high is because he eats so clean. And I kept asking him, well, how can I get better? How can I heal like you? And the diet kept coming up, and then the stuff with Tiffany and the book and everything else. Anyway, I think that just flipping through these pages, that's the littlest bit, somehow is a door to open up to download what I need without having to necessarily, pick it apart and figure it out for myself.
So Bonnie McCliss says that there are people, and I think it was actually Edgar Casey who would take a book and stick it under, he'd sleep on it, and then it would...
Let me sleep on it.
Let me sleep on it. And it would go in. Well, okay, so that, to me, that if everything is frequency, everything's frequency. Everything. And right now, and I had this conversation with someone today, lovely, I have to tell you about her. She's just amazing.
Yeah, I don't know where you went today, just said her. Gotta fill me in.
Well, this was a phone call, and
Okay.
and we were talking about that matter. So if everything is frequency, and we have all of these different things, like I posted on my Facebook page about 5G, and that really is some scary stuff. And I really try not to get into the scary stuff part, but we have this ability to transmute things. We do. You hear about
I am a
people-
transmuter. That's one of my earth jobs.
So I really dug in with this whole, you need to be raw vegan, you need to be, you need to cut out caffeine, you need to cut out all alcohol, and I'm like, fuck that. I am not going from can't drink, can't dance, can't, and then trading that dogmatic brain to something else. And I think if it feels good, if you're called to do it, do it. If your body is asking you to get clean, get clean. I know mediums.
It's baby steps right now. I'm still into
smoke,
bacon and beer.
I
know.
And so, and it doesn't impede. Maybe they're supposed to be, levitating entire pools. I don't know, but it's maybe they're not living up to. But I think that we can transmute, and I think that we can. And Ashley, formerly of the East City Ranch, I hate saying that because she's so much more than that.
Formerly known as Prince. Just kidding, keep going.
But that's how I know.
Yeah.
That's how she's been on the show several times, and she doesn't have a last name. So Ashley, she was asking me if I could tune in, like radio frequency, tune into the different dimensions. Like, can you tune into the 7th, the 6th, and ask? So I've asked my guides, hey, can you give me the channel so that I can try to work on that? And so I don't know. I haven't. I just started, but I do know that I woke up with my eyes, like I woke up crying. I don't know. Maybe
I've been
I'm
doing
dreaming.
dream work myself these days. Sometimes I think shit's just too hard, and we just do it in our sleep.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's just fascinating, and there have been so many things. But I'm kind of working some things out right now in my head that I'd love to share with you guys at some point soon. But it's about projecting into this reality versus actually living in it.
Ooh,
I
is
know,
that like the
right?
overlay I may have been talking about, like inventing shit, or is it different? What does that mean, projecting into this reality? Sorry, you got to give me a little teaser right now.
Well, it is. Everybody talks about ascension, and everybody talks about the new earth, and everybody talks about, and then a lot of us have had experiences with it, and the whole idea is, what if we actually went? What if we actually went, and then we're just projecting into this reality? And so, and if that's the case, I'm not going to go the Matrix and throw myself off a building, but what if the laws that govern don't exactly apply? And so, I was, and I'm sure
I think they
can't-
apply because we believe they apply.
Well, that, and they can't impede on other people's free will. Because if I'm sitting there and I'm flying around, then won't people be like, what's happening? I'm not thinking
Right,
for that.
that's true.
So there is an impediment part. Is that the word? Is that even a word?
No,
Impediment?
yeah, I think
Impediment
so.
part. Impediment. Anyway, so, and I'd asked, and my guys were like, yeah, you need to start looking into the laws, the natural laws, and see where those are. And they asked me today, they said, so what law would you like to circumvent?
What was your
I was
answer?
like, I don't know. I'd love to bilocate. I would love to transmute. And they're like, oh, okay, go bigger, and so I'd love to levitate, but nah, not really. Those are parlor tricks.
I'd love to eat without having any kind of,
You gotta go bigger.
negative shit.
No,
No, I'm
that's
fine with that.
transmutation. That's transmutation, because if you can transmute, then you can teach other people to transmute.
Yeah.
And all of these icky nasties won't affect you.
Right. I have an abundance of chemicals in my body.
And another example that they gave was, what if okay, so what if we go around acting poor and broke, and where am I going to find the money for this, and where am I going to, I can't figure out what I want to do. What if you really knew that you were actually fucking loaded, and but it's thousands of years of conditioning that you...
I'm a good example of that. You and I talk about
poor.
that a lot.
We do.
Because, well, sometimes, but I really, I mean, I don't have
once. No.
I don't have that much money, like relatively speaking, but I'm so rich. My thought is I'll never run out. I'll always have more than enough. So it doesn't matter how much I have, depending on what my needs are today, I'll always have more than enough. I don't even know what I have in the bank. I don't even pay attention to it. I'm clueless about it. But I keep maintaining that attitude. That's my vibration. That's my focus. That's what I'm creating.
Well, that's the law of attraction,
Exactly.
right there. I mean, live
I
it,
did
and be
it.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting, and I think it's interesting to start looking at it, as we said in the last video that we did, which was about the Adjustment Bureau. I think it's interesting to start looking and seeing. So So the other night I had a dream. It was sort of apocalyptic, not scary though, and all of the systems had broken down. So by that I mean family systems. Nobody went to work. It was like somebody stepped in an ant pile and everybody's going nuts. And I mean, there were people that stayed together, but it was clear that we were bailing. But it wasn't scary. It was the weirdest thing. And my takeaway from it, the pilot crashed us into the side of a mountain, but it was good because it was like a real fast way off the planet. But it was. But my takeaway from this was, where do you see the systems? Where do you see the structure? The family structure. Every day I get up and brush my teeth. I'm told I have to brush my teeth. Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to have to have your son say, "Hey, stick a piece of gum in that pie hole." I mean, you don't. There are certain things that we do because we need to do it.
Right.
But there are routines. There are systems all around us, and I think that's the micro, and that we get to the macro. And I think by understanding that and I'm not saying this. I'm saying, Eben Alexander, Dr. Alexander, I think that's his name. He's the brain surgeon that had this freaky brain thing, and he died, and he thought there was nothing. I think I had this right. He thought there was nothing, and so he said he was dead and he was in nothing, and all of a sudden he was aware that he was in nothing. He was like, well, then I must not be dead because I'm aware. Same thing. Like if you're in a video game, if the character all of a sudden realizes, wait a minute, I'm in a video game. Well, you see the structure. So then you can act accordingly. Same thing.
Oh, okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I think so.
So if you start seeing now let me apply this. So if you start seeing where the systems are and where the expectations are and what's behind the expectations.
We learn quick and fall into it. No?
That, or we learn how to
Make it work.
pull out of ourselves, pull out of it, and do it our way, and do it as a spirit. I mean, I realize that we had a whole thing on I want to be human, but I'm just saying, but to be human in this world,
it's to apply both, because we have the knowledge, or we're gaining the knowledge from up there. They're teaching it to us.
Walking with a foot in both worlds.
So you were so right. In fact, when I did Stardust with Heather, I said I gotta call you and I out, because I had a talk with Carrie. And what she kind of pointed out to me was that we're not being totally human. We didn't go back to our human roots or attitudes. What we did was integrate that spirituality with our humanness, and we are a new human, so we can't go backwards.
So what if this is the next step?
Right.
What if it's like,
I think it is. It's
I'm
time
human, I'm not human. Now how can I play in the human world and play in the spirit world?
That's it. Well,
maybe that's essential.
I'm interpreting it. I think it is. I'm interpreting what you're saying is in my own way as, we're mastering this shit and figuring out whatever you call the game, and truly creating. That's what this next twin thing is supposed to do for me, is to teach me to be the master of my life and not just play the rules that have already been here, but to understand about law of attraction and all that other stuff, and understand that I am a true creator of my life, and not, that kind of stuff. Is that kind of where you're going?
Yeah, because it's not just stuff, and it's not just, but it's about saying, I really, I won't go there. I have something to tell you. You have to remind me. But I don't know. It's this idea that I can call things in. I can call a person in. I can call a gift in. I can call a knowing in.
Absolutely.
I can call that download in.
Yeah,
It's like, oh my
trust
God,
and faith. Yes, 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 yes.
hey, get my microphone to work. Hey, Steve, come help me here. You know,
That
Tesla,
didn't
come help-
really work for us this time.
Well, clearly I haven't mastered it.
Right, but you know, you're right about that. We don't know how powerful we are. We are, and we don't know how much Spirit is listening. I do know. I do get that we can start talking like you just said. Tesla came in and helped me turn not blue one time because we had called him in and
You were
and
blue
asked.
for a while.
I was blue for a couple episodes.
It's like your little acros.
I was a
Cyanotic.
Smurf. I was a Smurf. But I do. I 100% believe that we have that ability to call them in, and so many people want like a medium or somebody else. Can you tell my child so and so? And it's like, you tell them. You have that same connection.
You go to him all the time.
Oh, that's true. But I don't necessarily always hear the messages. I'm getting there. I
Yeah,
get
we're all that way.
some.
We would rather, because it's like being at a party. If you're hosting it, you're working, where you like sometimes just go sit and.
But I absolutely believe that they are hearing me, and and it's not so concrete when they give back to you. But if there's something they can do, they'll absolutely do it. I believe this to be true. We can use our powers to call on the spirit world and whatever else we want to do and bring it into us.
And I think that's just the beginning. And I think that they told me recently, and I'm not sure if I've already shared this. I might have, but I think I did our last show, the last show that we did, not yesterday, not today, but they told me recently. They said it is. Oh God, where did they tell me? Apparently they don't want me to share it. No, we are. Yeah, it's gone.
Oh.
Never mind.
When I do that, I always have off camera. I have my fingers like this. That's my way of That's my way of manifesting and having spirit help me re-download that information that I just forgot. So I'm often like this. It'll come back to me.
It'll come back. If it's meant to come back, it'll come back. No, I just think that I don't know. I just think that walking. Oh, that's what they told us, that it's time to take our seat at the big boy table, and in order to do that, and I said, well, because I have issues with why are we doing this cosmic game,
Yeah.
really, and I realized that there's such a tiny piece of me here that to really probably comprehend that is, I don't want to play myself short, but it's a lot. It's a lot, I think, to wrap our brains around. But but what if it really is this idea that we can come and go, we don't have to die and come back? They showed me, speaking of dying and coming back, they showed me the earth, and they showed me right around it, and we bounced back and forth, reincarnating. And then I remember the very first time I spoke with Emma, I was like, where's my grandfather? She's like, and I was really, one of the first things that lit me up was Cryon, and he talks about the earth grid and the poles and the shifting and realigning and to bring in this new stuff, this new energy. And she said, she didn't know me at all, and she said, I can't find him. I was like, I can't find him either. And I remember my grandfather in a vision, he brought my other grandfather to me, and I think he was handing him off, and she said, I'm getting these doing something on the grid. Does that make sense to you? I'm like, it does. So I think that that we can leave that game too. Like die, come back, die, come back, die, come back. And if we want to, we can go do something else. That's part of, like, who was it that said this? Sorry if you're listening and you're the one that told me this, but this really to me made sense. I realized we're kind of wandering, but they were talking about heaven, and that when we die and we go to heaven, that it actually could be the Pleiades. Wouldn't that be interesting? That we are like going to a place, and at that point we come back, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why my brain really likes to make sense of this stuff. I'm not okay with. I remember being told when I was younger that it was the devil's work if I question. I'm like, really?
I was never told that stuff. I didn't have to deprogram from religion because a little bit I did because it was around me,
But that said, I love going to church. I don't like the guitar singing.
I never
churches.
liked it. I'm like,
I love going, like the church that we go to is Episcopalian, and Charles and I have sort of an agreement, but they have a choir, and it feels very grounded and earthy to me. They never talk about hell. They never talk about it's full of just really nice, good people.
I wouldn't mind that.
And they have the organ, and they have it's just grounding to me. And like that's why the new agey, like Joel Osteen, he lives like right over here, by the way.
Really?
That his stuff, to me, it reaches a lot of people, and that's good, you know. But it doesn't feel grounded. It feels very surface. I like the deeper roots. But then, you know, whatever. So, all right. Anything else you want to add?
No. We went everywhere with this one. I can throw anything in and it would be equally irrelevant. However, we got some good shit to say, so.
Remind me to tell you about Elvis.
All right. Elvis is everywhere. Elvis is decapitated in that room over there.
Oh, don't say that. A friend gave me that, and it rolled off, but it's kind of stuck together, so I think I can glue his head back on.
Okay. It's okay. I accidentally dropped baby Jesus from my king cake in the garbage disposal and decapitated the baby Jesus. It's still hot. I gotta stay.
On that note, we gotta go.
We gotta go.
Mwah, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.